But two crazy things happened to President Trump reportedly in this courtroom. The first was reported by a law enforcement producer who talked to Fox News. He was actually in the courtroom during the arraignment. He talked to Fox News after and described how President Trump confronted, at least with his looks, with his demeanor, confronted Alvin Bragg. Take a listen.
Martha. I think it's worth noting. I think I brought it up already, but I may not have. That President Trump, former President Trump, definitely glared at the DA Bragg when he left.
President Trump glared at District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Apparently, President Trump was the last person, the final person to enter that courtroom, which makes sense from a security standpoint. This wasn't intentionally just high drama, although it did add to it being high drama, that's for sure. President Trump was the last person to enter the room, and he entered very slowly. He entered with a swagger. You can picture, he does this sometimes. It's part of his power moves. This is how he approaches Putin or Xi Jinping or Kim Jong-un. Very slowly, I will come to you at my own pace. And then he stopped, he looked around the room, he found Alvin Bragg, gave him the old stare down and glared. And this court reporter said that there was eye contact between the two of them. I love this. I think it's hilarious. And it makes me, this is one of the things that I wonder about President Trump that's unrelated to his political career. So before President Trump was president, he was obviously a television star on The Apprentice. Before he was on The Apprentice, what was he? He was a real estate mogul in New York City. He's responsible for changing some of New York City's skyline, which is an accolade or an accomplishment that is reserved to very few people. Very few people ever changed the New York City skyline. Donald Trump did that, which means that he had to have had significant interactions with the mob, right? Because the mob controls construction in New York. You don't do any kind of development, any kind of large construction without being not associated with the mob, but without the mob trying to strong arm you, without the mob trying to hold you up for protection money, et cetera, typical mob stuff. And I have always wondered how President Trump managed them, because he has the knack. President Trump has the knack of being able to interact with bad people in a way that disarms the bad person. It's like exactly what he did with Kim Jong-un, when he can almost charm the bad person in order to then get what he wants. President Trump got exactly what he wanted from Kim Jong-un. And I always have wanted to ask President Trump, I know this has nothing to do with politics, but I've always wanted to ask him about his interactions with the mob. What did they demand of him? What were these interactions like? Did he talk to them directly? Did he communicate with them through intermediaries? What did they demand? What did he give? How did he negotiate? This is a perfect example of why I want to know, because I think that President Trump is a tough guy. President Trump is a good negotiator. President Trump understands human nature, and he's unafraid to use his posture and his demeanor and his facial expressions as part of his negotiation. So if this is true, and we have no reason to doubt that President Trump glared at Alvin Bragg, it's something that's completely within character. I think that it's a pretty crazy thing that went down in this very tiny courtroom in the Manhattan courthouse today.